Good evening. It is I, Ron Carr. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening, and I hope you enjoyed that meditation. It was a simple one, just allowing you to relax and to think about this beautiful moment and the approaching night and everything that was happening there, which was peaceful and good. And so I hope you enjoyed that visit to that spot. And my question to you in this evening, how do you like that? I am giving you a question. How is your life? How is it going? Do you always feel peaceful? Do you always feel at home, relaxed, happy? Or do you spend a lot of time with anxiety, frustration, fear? Those which you might think of as negative emotions. And in a sense, they are, but I prefer not to label any emotions as negative. They are simply the results of your own thoughts. The life that you live is very much the result of your own thoughts. What are you thinking today? What are you thinking about tomorrow? What are you hearing when people talk to you? Does it make you fearful? Does it give you anxiety? Sometimes it can do that to you if you allow it. That which the other person is saying seems to affect you in some way or shape so that you can respond with emotions instead of remaining tranquil. And how much nicer is it to be tranquil? Tranquil. I cannot say it right. Something's sounding wrong here, but I think you understand the word tranquil in your emotions and in your being. Is it difficult for you to come to that point whenever you want to? It should not be, because it is all in how you are thinking and how you are interpreting what the other person is saying or what is going on around you. And sometimes the interpretation that you give what you see or what you think you see actually makes you very unhappy, makes you anxious, makes you fearful. It is your thoughts. A simple type of thought or situation, which most people in the physical form seem to find anxiety producing, is a trip to the dentist. Now, when it is just for an examination, just for a cleaning, it is not a problem for you. But if you have already experienced that, and the dentist has decided that you have a cavity that must be filled or fixed, that there's something wrong with the tooth and it might have to be pulled, that he has to build a new crown and it's going to cost you a lot of money. How do you react in these things? If you were worried because you have to have a tooth pulled, and maybe it will cause you pain, and how difficult will it be? You can ask yourself all these questions, and these are not tranquil, manifesting questions. They are questions which cause you to be fearful. And you have control over those questions. It is up to you what kind of questions you want to ask yourself. What kind of questions do you want to ask other people? How you are interpreting their words, their actions. You see, that is called perceptions. Perceptions is what happens between what someone has said, what someone has promised, what you fear will happen, the actual manifestation in the physical and what's going on in your head can be two different things. Because what is going on in your head is your perceptions. In other words, how are you interpreting the event? Do you think it is going to harm you personally? Well, if you have that thought, then of course you will become fearful. You will become anxious. Your anxiety levels will rise. You may look around you wondering if someone is going to attack you or hurt you in some way. This is all in your mind. It is your thought that you could possibly be harmed in whatever situation you are in. It is your thought that you might lose something precious. You might lose money. You might lose jewelry. You might lose friendships. All of these things can go through your mind and affect how you are experiencing the day. And so, when you realize that you are having a negative or difficult chain of thinking, that is when you must take control of your thoughts and deliberately choose to embrace and think about things that are peaceful and good, to calm yourself down. It is possible for you to calm yourself down in any situation. It is simply up to you to say the calming words to yourself. To say, don't worry, you will not be harmed in any way. This is a safe neighborhood. No one will attack you. You will drive carefully. You will drive slowly, perhaps, if you are worried. If the weather is bad and you have rain or snow or sleet or something that you worry you might not be able to control the car. There are things that you can calm yourself with. If you are worried about not controlling the car, say, I am a good driver. I will drive carefully, deliberately, and I will reach my goal and destination easily in the best amount of time. And if necessary, continue to say these things to yourself so that you regain your confidence in yourself and your ability to complete what you say that you need to complete or get to your destination. It's really quite simple. And it is within your control. Now, there are many things that happen to you when someone is speaking to you. Perhaps they sound angry, and you are interpreting from the tone of their voice that they are very unhappy. And you may personalize it and think that they are unhappy with you. And maybe they are unhappy, but maybe it's not with you. You have personalized an event that need not be personalized. Perhaps they were upset over a conversation that they had with someone else. Perhaps they were fearful as a result of that conversation. And what would you say to them? You would say, do not be fearful. You are in control. You are in control of your own thoughts, and you are in control of your own actions and reactions to what this person has said. This other person was upset. They were worried themselves. And you do not have to take on their worry. You can let it go. It's not your worry, it's their worry. It's their situation. And in their talking to you, there was no meaning to bring you harm. They were simply advising you telling you about it, looking for help or advice, or perhaps your calming words. And so you should not personalize those things that people say to you, because it is a reflection of their own thoughts and their own ways of being, even when they seem to be attacking you in some way. It is still a reflection of themselves. It is what they are feeling, and is a result, perhaps, the way they were brought up, or perhaps, well, it is still a reflection of themselves that they need to talk to you in such a way. It's not necessarily because you have done wrong. It is that they are interpreting what you have done in a way perhaps that is detrimental to themselves. And it makes them fearful, and you did not intend it to be this way. They are misinterpreting you. And you have the power to calm them down, the same way you have the power to calm yourself down. Actually, you have less power to calm them down, because they can still be determined to stay angry or upset with you. And so you cannot take offense that they are angry and upset, that they misunderstood what you were saying or doing. You may have made a mistake, but everyone makes mistakes. And so in this instance, you ask for forgiveness. Now, of course, they may have made a mistake, and you can give them forgiveness. Not by saying, I forgive you that you have thought this terribly wrong, but simply in your mind, by not taking offense and letting go. Your ability to control the world that you experience is totally between your two ears. It is your mind interpreting, evaluating what is going on all around you. And you can control your mind. It's totally within your power to choose to interpret everything that goes around you, or is happening around you, in a way that makes you feel calm and peaceful and at rest. Know and try and understand my words. The next time there is an opportunity for you to change the way you interpret the words of others, you can always think, they are upset. What they are saying is not an accurate reflection of what they might normally say. And it's not an offense on me. And I let it go. And I live a happy, peaceful life. I will tell them that I am sorry they are unhappy, and I will go my way. And that is your decision, how you will interpret the words, the actions, and what is all around you. Choose to see the peace, the harmony, the tranquility that you can see around you, that you can manifest in your thoughts and your ideas. Now, are there any questions on what I have spoken about, or on anything else you would like? Please. Yes.
Hi, Rankar. This is Soham.
Yes.
Rankar, I have two questions. So one is about myself, and one I'm asking on behalf of my dad, who is in India right now.
Yes.
So let me start with the question I have for myself. So I guess last year when I was looking for for new opportunities, new career opportunities. So I got in touch with some of my old colleagues, some colleagues from my first company, um, and they were very senior to me. And I looked to them for some guidance on how to approach getting into the optical industry and what segments are good to target. And it seems as categorically they told me to avoid the optical communications segment of the industry. If anything, if I go in that industry to be part of the semiconductor uh, uh, to be part of a semiconductor company, which is where I am right now. So that was one thing, and then they all said to go after the sensing segment, like optical sensing for self-driving cars and that kind of thing, which is supposed to be a big growth market. Um, at the time, I tried targeting those kind of companies too. I was kind of I was okay with going in either segment. Personally, I found both equally interesting. I didn't as far as like how interesting it seems, it didn't seem any different to me. Um, and even right now, I kind of feel that way. Both seem pretty interesting. Um, and more recently, I was talking with a colleague, and she also had she also mentioned the same kind of recommendation. So I feel like my personal experience is that, even in the optical communication space where I am in the semiconductor company, it's an interesting space, where I feel still I'm doing interesting work. It's productive. Maybe a very competitive industry, but still nonetheless it it's still satisfying. And I guess uh, I just want to, in any future searches, I'm not sure I should distinguish in the sense that, oh, this is a growing market, or this is not a growing, or this is a slower growing market, or this is a more competitive industry or not. I was thinking I should go just by what seems interesting and exciting, and if both seem exciting, I can go for both and see where I land. Um, and I was thinking more in that regard. Is that the correct way to think about? Yeah,
Yes, your thinking is very clear.
yeah,
You should not just consider what other people have told you you should do, or where there are opportunities and where there is the most, I cannot think of a word, pizzazz,
yeah.
glamour with the coming in of the new technology and new places to look and research. What you find most interesting is where you will be the most successful, because you will embrace the work enthusiastically. So, yes, you are correct. Be guided by what interests you. If this company is doing what you think is interesting, exciting work, even though it may be not the most cutting edge technology, not the most exciting technology at the moment, but it is something you know that you find interesting, then you will enjoy the job and you will have a good performance at that job, because you will be engrossed and you will work very hard. So it is, that is what is your guiding, should be your guide. What interests you? Because then you will have the best performance and you will be
Right,
able to have the enthusiasm that new employers are interested in.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. So I was thinking of just applying to all companies in areas that excite me, and then wherever it works out, I'll take it as a sign that this is where I was meant to be, this is the way the universe arranged the best opportunity for me, and that's the way I look at it.
Yes, I believe that is what you should do. And
Yeah.
you know how to make your affirmations in
Yes.
such a way that it is open and embracing what is the best for yourself.
Right. Right.
You know, such as saying, I have found the best opportunity for myself.
Right. Yep. Okay. I'm very clear now. Thank you. um,
You already have it.
yeah. And the other question on behalf of my dad. So I guess so he's we're working through the apartment renovations right now for our apartment in India,
Yes.
and I think we have some good ideas, some creative brainstorming going on, and I think we have some ideas that we like. So our interior designer is actually a family's my cousin, and I guess of lately his response has been a little slow. He's been not very responsive. Um, I guess I told my dad to just reach out to him again and just I'm sure it's something small or simple, but somehow my dad is getting getting nervous. Like, is it is it just something simple, some simple delay, or is it anything else? Um, you know,
It seems to be as you ask your question, I am not certain whether the reason for the delay is one of possibilities and possibilities that cannot work. And perhaps this person is hesitant to be forthcoming with that sort of an idea that this is not going to be easy to do, or it will be too difficult, or it will be too expensive. I feel as if the person is, I will say, dragging his feet because he fears to offend, especially as it is family or friend.
right?
And I think all you can do is to contact him again and ask, is there a problem, either
Yeah,
with working with us or with what we were thinking we would like to do,
yeah,
and see what the answer is. That is all
yeah,
that you can do.
yeah,
And being nervous does not help.
yeah. I know, but this is I tried to calm my dad down, but he sometimes he wants to ask rather than yeah, uh
Yes, well, do your best to convey what I have suggested, that
yeah,
simply ask your interior designer if the problem is he too busy? Um, is there a problem with working with us? Or
yeah,
is what we are expecting too difficult or not possible? Or what
right,
we are hoping for is too difficult or not possible? In
right,
which
right.
case, please give us guidance.
Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely.
I think that will help you.
Yeah, I agree.
Are there any other questions?
No, I think that's all from me for the moment. Thank you, Rankar.
You're welcome. I know there are other questions.
Yes, there are.
Good. How can I help you?
I'm not sure. I'm sure of what's on my mind, however.
Okay.
Um, in your talk before now,
Mhm.
you were speaking a lot about thoughts and states of mind. And in my situation in life right now, I'm not happy. I have so much going on that feels out of my control or 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 more than I can handle, whether it's home related things or needing to pay bills but not having enough money, or health decisions or challenges that just sort of confuse me, which, then becomes how to pay for as well. Marriage that really isn't good anymore and can't really continue, but financially can't separate. And I'm just feeling, went to church today and prayed a lot. I pray, but I'm feeling I feel like I'm sort of beaten down, and I feel emotionally flat, and maybe into, getting into the place of dissociation, and just sort of like, I don't know. Usually I'm a person who can figure things out and go and try, but I'm so exhausted by all these things and I don't really know what to do. And I'm just sort of, I've been zapped, and I also feel super depressed with this zapping.
It sounds to me as if you have decided that the answer to everything is no, I can't do it. And that is a very difficult situation to be in, because you are not happy in your marriage. You feel financially strapped for money. I can't pay bills. I can't get divorced. I can't. That seems to be what is going through your head. Are we correct?
Yeah, and I will say that I've tried, I endeavor, I reach out, but I've hit so many walls that discouraged it.
You've tried to do what? I endeavor. I tried. Is this something you are focusing on, or is this in every area you feel you have tried and you've hit a wall?
I feel like I'm hitting walls, or when I start to move forward, then another rug gets pulled out, and I'm just feeling tired and discouraged. And like I said, just flat.
Well, my favorite thing to recommend for nearly everyone is to adopt affirmations. This is one way of changing your thinking, so that you can make affirmations about what you want to have happen and say them in the present tense as if they are happening. Because what you think about is what you attract to yourself.
I know, and I've been trained that way for a long time, but I'm exhausted now.
Yes, what affirmations are you making? What I hear you making is I can't.
What I'm trying to tell you is my situation, honestly.
Yes, I understand.
And I have endeavored to do all these things, and I'm just exhausted, and I don't know what's coming next, and I'm losing faith. So affirmations for me right now
are difficult to say.
Difficult and not even strong enough. I won't believe them, right?
Yes, you won't believe them.
And I just need, if spirit is here, I just need to know something's going to be okay, because right now it doesn't feel like it is.
Well, it doesn't feel like it is, but you said it needs to know that it's going to be okay. Everything will end up being okay. Maybe not exactly as you want it to be, but it will be okay. Because that is what always happens. Everything always works out. It always unwinds itself into little pieces, which eventually you take care of and get rid of, because that is what happens when you are in the physical world. And it happens because you adopt the attitude that I'm going to work out okay. It will work out okay. And I assure you that it will work out okay. This is perceptions. The reason I suggest affirmations, even with when you don't believe them, there is an expression. Fake it till you make it. And that is what I am telling you, is that you make affirmations saying that everything is going to be okay. Solutions will come to me. I will find the best way possible to take care of this. That I will restructure my bills, or I am restructuring. I do not know if you have to go to the bank. I do not know your financial situation. And it is entirely possible, what with the inflation and the physical situation in all the countries, what with the economics of all these things that are going on, that it looks bleak and dismal. And this is the way it is for everyone. And you can choose to look at how bleak and dismal it is and continue to make yourself feel more unhappy and continue to make yourself fearful, frustrated, all the things that you seem to be expressing, that I cannot, I have tried, I cannot, I have tried, I cannot. I have tried, there must be another way. I have tried this way. There is another way. I don't know it yet, but I'm going to find it. And I'll see what I can do. I'll just keep working at it, because you can't give up, because the solution may be there tomorrow. The solution may have already started within your life and you do not know it. You speak of the relationship that with your husband, which is not a happy one. And I do not know what has happened between you, but I do know that the expectations that people place upon one another, that is what brings disappointment. That is what brings unhappiness. And for you to find your way out of the situation, perhaps you need to analyze what it is you are expecting from this man. How is he going to do whatever you expect? It's not going to say, because you haven't communicated it to him. You may have communicated it quite adequately, but he was not capable of hearing it. And maybe he's not capable of doing it. In which case you say your marriage is going nowhere and is a blank, but you cannot, of course, take steps to get out of it. But you can. You just have to decide that that is really what you want. And how can you possibly do it in your current situation, because you are financially in debt? Well, perhaps you need to declare bankruptcy and not pay for whatever you have purchased in the past, to ignore those payments. Maybe you need to, I do not know what it is that is making it difficult for you, but somewhere along the line, if you truly want to get out of your marriage, start figuring out how you can get out of your marriage. Don't stand there and say it's not possible. It is possible, but you have to figure out how it can possibly be done for you. What is it you have to do? Find a new place for yourself to live. Say, I think we need to live apart for a while so that I can find peace. And find yourself a little apartment. Are you working? Find a new job. I don't know what your limitations are, but you place those limitations on yourself. You say, I can't work, or I can't pay my bills, or I can't do this. Well, these are limitations that you place on yourself. And so you have to figure out, well, what is it I can do? There's always something you can do. And sometimes what doesn't seem like it will solve the problem. At that point in time, it will not. But it may bring you to a space or a point in time which now suddenly there is an option that you can do. It's in the effort that you create good things for yourself. It's in your mind that you create good things for yourself. You have to look around you and say, what is good? What do I have that is good that I can cling to? That I can think about and make myself happy? What can I do that will make me feel better? I know that it is difficult, but it is the way to success. And I know that you can work your way out of this situation when you truly, not that you don't desire to, but you simply have not been able to. And think about what it is the thing you most need to do. I do not know, you have said that you saw there was a pathway. You thought that was working out, and suddenly it didn't work out. I don't know what that referred to, but I guess you need to find a job. You need to work, or you may need to find a better job. And I bet that you can do that in today's environment. And then what else can you do? Well, you have some money. Perhaps you can save some of it, just a little bit. $5 put away every week does amount up. It takes a while, but it begins to give you a sense of security and fulfillment because you have succeeded in accumulating a small amount of money for yourself. It hasn't disappeared. It hasn't gone into groceries. It hasn't gone into the telephone bill. You saved it, and slowly you have a nest egg. Make it $10 if you can out of every paycheck. Whatever it is that you can put away, however little. People have accumulated millions of dollars at very low working jobs. And how did they do that? They were never paid much. Well, they chose to live frugally and not buy themselves things, to have a small apartment somewhere. I know apartments are getting expensive everywhere, but they will come down in price. And so you may find something that will work for you. Perhaps it is a shared space, so you can get out on your own. I cannot magically transform your thinking. I can only advise you that you can transform your thinking because your thoughts are within your control. Even if you're thinking, how can I pay for this? How can I meet these 3 bills? I do not have enough money. Well, you do not have enough money right now. Don't think about how you're going to pay them. Just go think about something you can do. Let the bills be. You cannot pay them. Don't waste a lot of time thinking, I cannot pay them, I cannot pay them, I cannot pay them. That becomes an affirmation that stops you from getting more money, that stops you from having what you want because you are thinking, I cannot, I cannot, I cannot. I cannot get out of this situation. Every way is blocked. Every way is blocked. That is the way to create blocks everywhere. And while you may not have meant to do this, at one point in time, you may have said this about one way. And as soon as you embrace that thought, I cannot, it is blocked. Then suddenly you can see another way that you cannot, that it is blocked. And then it isn't locked before everywhere you look, you make the assessment. I cannot, it is blocked. And that is why you are where you are today. Because you have spent too much time thinking, I cannot, it is blocked. So begin to embrace, I can. I can choose to work on this. I can choose to get a divorce now. I can choose to be, maybe you can't get a divorce now because you have to pay legal fees and maybe an attorney, but you can always separate and do your best on your own. Keep your money to yourself. Decide which bills you are going to pay and leave him the rest. Just do the best you can. But begin to think, I can. I can do it. You are competent, you are capable, and you can do it. You just need to think in a more positive way. And then you will begin to see solutions instead of brick walls. I'm sorry, I cannot give you anything more than that. Do you have a different question, which is not quite so all-encompassing?
Everything is, I don't have a financial foundation to just go off and be on my own. So I don't have that right now. So I'm just, I know what,
Why don't you have the financial foundation? Because you do not work? Or
I
you cannot
work, huh?
Or you cannot work?
No, it's a combination of things. I have started doing creative consulting work. Some of it, I've done a lot of it on a volunteer basis with a nonprofit, and more recently for fee. And I do really good work. I also struggle through age-old trauma that makes it really hard to promote myself or say things. It's like I'm trying to hunt around for a trauma therapist, but I have a lot of skills, but I can't let myself out.
You can't let yourself out. I'm trying to understand that limitation. You have allowed yourself to give away your talents. You were safe working for free. And somehow you are blocked from working for money. And so your problem is, why are you blocked for working for money? That you have used the term, I can't let myself out. In other words, does that mean I can't work for money?
It means I can't self-promote myself. I can't, I get very frightened when I have to, I reactivate some trauma, and I get very frightened when I think about trying to promote myself. It's very easy for me to work with people. It's very kind of terrifying to self-promote.
So get a job and don't work at self-promotion. You do not have to be an independent consultant. This possibility that you will find, well, a job, any job, working for someone else. And it doesn't have to be in your creative field doing what you do best. But getting a job working for someone else is exactly what you need to do, because you will be able to do that no matter what the job is. And then when you begin to earn some money regularly, it will be easier to move into your own place. As I have said, you can put away a small amount of money. Perhaps you can put it all away. I do not know exactly what your relationship is with your husband or what you have going on, but some of it, at least, I'm sure you will be able to keep for yourself. And just find a job. Don't try to go out and promote yourself. And you are looking for some kind of therapy. Now that is difficult because even that costs you money. And you would like to get over your trauma. And there are people who specialize in trauma patients to help them. But at the moment, you're probably, unless you are on disability and you are getting payments from Social Security or something.
I'm on Medicare. I'm 65.
Oh, good. Then you
And they do cover therapy, but so far I haven't found trauma specialists who accept Medicare.
yes, well, that is a difficulty, but you can keep approaching. Actually, I have party to an information since the medium has recently taken a job for herself. You are looking for an EMDR therapist.
That could be one modality.
And that would help you in that type. And they have a website which will enable you to look up people, and you can put in that you are looking for an EMDR therapist who takes Medicare. And perhaps you will find one near you.
Yes, and I have done that search before, and I can do it again.
Yes, continue to do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm sure Charlotte would like to speak with you. So I think I should step back and let her step forward.
Well, if you have another question, perhaps you should ask the other question now.
I'm afraid to ask the other question.
Well, gather your courage together and ask the other question.
I mean, on my own life, I've got dental expenses that I don't even know how to solve, and that cost a whole lot of money. So I'm trying to figure out what dentist to go to, and even if I pick the right dentist, how do I pay for it? And also, I live in a home that's rented. And if I were to move, which I will want to, there are also mice in the house, and I don't know how, I don't want them to get poisoned. I don't know how to get rid of them, but I know as soon as I leave, whoever comes next or whatever happens next won't be so merciful. And I care about them, and I care that there are neighborhood cats that I don't want to get poisoned if they kill the mice in the way that people usually do. And I don't quite know how to take care of myself and them and everyone and everything.
Well, you have limitations, and you need to accept those limitations. You cannot protect every mouse that comes into the house. You cannot protect every mouse that is in the environment. And if there are stray cats, you cannot protect them also.
They're not strays, they're neighbor cats. They're neighbor cats that I know very well.
And many of them, if they are fed by their neighbors, their interest in catching mice is not to eat them, but because it is natural.
No, I know, but if somebody else came here and poisoned the mice, any bird of prey or cat or other that would eat a poisoned mice would also be poisoned.
Possibly. But that is nature's way. I'm sorry. You cannot keep those ideas and accept them and stop them. It is natural for things to prey upon other things.
Yeah, no, that's okay. But if what I was trying to express
I understand.
is the poison component.
Is the poison component, yes. But this is not so different than very many other things. And you cannot be sure that the person next taking the mouse will decide to use poison and hire an exterminator to use poison. You simply cannot. It is not your house, and unless you want to live there for the rest of your life, you cannot protect that particular group of mice from what is coming to them. And mice do not live a long time. So the mice that are there for you today that you have an affection for will not be residents of the house a year from now or 2 years from now. They will be dead of natural causes because they are aged.
I know, I understand that a lot of it, but I don't want to have my neighbor animals poisoned. And
Your
that's-
neighbor's animals will not be poisoned because they will not eat a poisoned mouse. Even if they kill the mouse, they will not eat it because they are fed regularly. They are not hungry. Animals do not eat food that unless they are hungry. Wild animals, even your neighbor's cats, they are fed regularly. And so they will not choose to eat a mouse, period. If they catch one. A mouse can be a great play toy for a cat, a real one. You
Okay.
see, you are choosing to let that be a limitation in your life. You are making that choice. I cannot leave this house because the next person will poison the mouse. The poisoned mouse will be eaten by my neighbor's cat and it will die. And I could not bear that thought. And so you are creating a wall for yourself. I am just pointing out to you at this time that your thoughts are keeping you fearful and limited. And you have to take responsibility for your thoughts and come to new thoughts that allow you to be empowered. To put the welfare of the cat above your own welfare does not make sense. And you can do your best to find a therapist that will help you to change that thinking. Or you can say, I have to work on this myself. Because even a therapist will require you to work on it yourself. Eventually, you have to make that decision for yourself that I am more important than a mouse or a cat.
Oh, I never will believe that. I mean, that's just foundational. Doesn't mean I can't care for myself, but I'll never believe I'm more important. I can believe we're equal, but not more.
It is your choice.
It is my choice, and I've made that one already in life, that I'm not more important than my fellow beings.
But you are not taking actions to kill your fellow beings. Do you understand the difference? From putting your welfare first, but still allowing the animals, mice, the cats, the birds, the owls, the crows, the possums, the turkey vultures which eat dead things, that all these animals you are not harming by moving out of your home, moving out of your current house and into a place that is better for yourself. You are not harming them. You are putting them in front of you right now. You're putting them first, and you have done nothing to harm them. And you will not do anything to harm them should you move. But you are causing them, making them be an obstacle to your well-being. That it may be more important for you to move. You have to allow them to experience their own destinies without being responsible for them, for you are not responsible for them. If you are not actively trapping them, if you are not actively poisoning them, you are not responsible for their deaths. And they will die, for everything dies. And they may not even die of poison that has been placed there.
I didn't understand your last
You,
little bit.
you didn't understand my thinking?
No, your last little
Oh.
couple sentences, that's all.
I'm sorry. I
Um,
did not speak distinctly.
I may try to, I don't know, the weather's getting cold. I may still try to catch and release them into the woods, which isn't a guarantee of survival, but I've even had struggling doing that. So,
Well, you can try to do that because at least they will not be in your house. And it's good not to have mice in your house. Simply because they can cause illness and difficulties.
yeah, I mean, they're house mice. So the illnesses of deer mice or outdoor mice, it's not the same. Everybody kind of lives with house mice, whether they see them or not. But
Well, that could be true.
yeah, they're different. They're not out in the wild, exposed to all the stuff that people might be afraid of catching. But anyway, thank you very much, and I appreciate your time with me and your thoughts.
I don't know if it has been helpful, but I hope that you think about it a little bit more and recognize that you have placed many artificial obstacles in your way. You were speaking as a person in despair who had no way to move because there were obstacles everywhere. But you have been giving obstacles and creating obstacles within your own mind that are not necessary for you to have, such as the mouse problem. And I'm sure there are other things which also stop you from taking actions which are beneficial to yourself because you feel that this is the right thing to do. And so I cannot violate that idea that I have that this is the right thing. If it is an obstacle to your being happy and you are not hurting anyone by moving out of your house, you will not be harming those mice, but you will be doing yourself something good, perhaps.
Yes.
Working for someone else without the responsibility to stand up and create something and proclaim your goodness and your skills and ability may not be the most fulfilling job for you right now, but it is still going to help you move out of the situation you are in into one in which you will be more happy. And you have to see a job, any job, as being the right thing. It is also necessary for you to speak up for yourself. And I understand that difficulty. Many people have that difficulty of speaking up. But it is important and necessary for you to speak up for yourself on your own behalf. It may not be only easy, but it is something that you have to do for yourself. Finding a therapist will help you, but You will even have to work for the therapist and do things on your own for you to get better so that you can enjoy a happy life. So you can take some of these steps and some of these actions without the help from anyone else. You are highly capable. As you said, you are also creative. And so find the creative thoughts which enable you to move forward in your life and solve your own problems. For you have that capability. Know that to be true. Have the confidence in yourself to say, I can do it. And then take the actions. Make yourself take the actions. You will not die if you take the actions for yourself. Nothing is going to happen if you stand up for yourself. If you promote yourself, there is nothing that is going to happen. You will not be killed. You will not be harmed in any way. And that's what you have to tell yourself enough to give you the courage to promote yourself. If you wish to stay self-employed in your own creative business or working for others, you probably have to think that very hard. But you can do that, and you can make the changes that you need to make because you are competent, you are creative, you have all these skills, and you just need to make yourself take the actions that you are fearful of and also recognize your own good and that you deserve to have a happy, healthy life. Are there other questions?
Thank you.
Are there any other questions in this evening?
Hi, this is Charlotte, and I know it's getting late, so I was going to talk about my son because he isn't here, and usually he is, and I wouldn't want him overhearing me. He's in Dallas, Texas right now, and it doesn't look very good. I really don't know what's going to happen with him. My daughters think I'm enabling him by keeping him in my home. And not telling him that he has to leave and, get a life kind of thing. Things aren't working out as far as his relationship with the children's mom. They FaceTime me almost every night. And I could see that, he had to rent an Airbnb. He wasn't welcome into the house. She's living with her parents. And as you know, they're not married. And it's just a mess. And I really don't know if you could see a solution for him.
It does not matter what I see because he chooses to be in this situation.
But he is taking advantage of me financially as well. And I don't know how to handle that other than to say, I'm sorry, I'm not writing another check for you.
Exactly. That is what you have to do. Just say no.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the best that you can. Just say no because your daughters are correct. By writing that check, you are enabling him.
Mm-hmm.
I know that he has skills.
Yes.
And he needs to find a job with those skills. If he is physically able to do that, he needs to do what he has to do. And you do not help him by giving him the money that enables him to not find a job, to not get a life. Perhaps he should stay in Texas and find.
Well, that's what I'd love. Yeah, I think that's what he's telling everyone he's going to do, but I don't know how he's going to swing it.
But it does not matter. You do not have to know how he's going to swing it. He has to find a job. That is how he is going to swing it.
Mhm.
There are jobs in Texas. Dallas is a big city.
Mhm.
There are many opportunities there. And he has to go to work. And then when he's in Texas, then he will be able to take the actions that he wants to take, needs to take custody of his children, or at least get a partial.
Right. Yeah, they're very young. And he should be in their lives. I mean, and he loves children. He loves them.
Well, you have to let go of the should. He should be in their lives. It is up to him to figure out what he's doing. Perhaps he should be in their lives, but he wants to be in their lives. So he has to do what he has to do
Mhm.
to be in their lives. For him, that is to find a job in and around Dallas. There are many, many opportunities there to do whatever it is that he can do to
Mhm.
earn money.
Yeah,
And
he is very intelligent. He's certainly
this is nothing, his intelligence has nothing to do with it.
mhm.
It is his emotions,
Yeah.
the things that stop him from getting a job are because you pay and you take care of him.
Yeah.
And someday he has to find a job and take care of himself. That is the only way to happiness.
Oh yeah, no, he has worked and had a job. And
He-
because, yeah.
I
His-
understand he has worked and had a job.
Mhm.
He does not
He
now.
does. And even now, I think he's making money here and there. He's not very communicative. So I don't know exactly how.
Yes, well, he does not have to tell you how. Just tell him that he can get a job and he can take care of himself. If you
Mhm.
want to write him one more check, you write him one more check and say, this is it, my checkbook is now closed.
Mhm. Because it is affecting my income. The money is going out very quickly, and I'm a little concerned.
Yes,
Because-
you have perhaps many more years to live, and you have to pay your taxes on
Right.
your property. You have to do the things that you need to do to pay for the light bills and the
Mhm.
electric and the heating oil and all the things that you need, and you cannot be giving him that money. So tell him that your checkbook is closed and it is now, you're sorry, but he has to earn his own way.
Mhm. Okay. And is it possible in the next few weeks, if when he is around, that maybe, yeah,
That may be what?
he could ask you a question or so?
Yes, but he won't.
You don't think so?
No,
Oh, all right. Well, that's his
I
loss.
cannot tell him what to do. He knows what to do.
Mhm. Right.
Keep saying it. He's very intelligent. He's held a job. He
Oh,
has.
yes, yes. Mhm.
He was a teacher, was he not?
Oh, yes. No, he's very talented, and, you know.
So he can find a job being a teacher, I'm sure.
Mhm. Okay, well, thank you. As I said, I wouldn't have been able to talk to you this much if you were around, because he's got very good hearing, and, the house, and he could probably hear everything, I would
Well,
say.
then that would be a way for him to learn what he has
That's
to
true.
learn. And that I am advising you not to give him any more money, and that his sisters are saying that he is taking advantage of you.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
of which are correct.
okay. All right, well, in a way, he is my child also, and
Of
I was
course,
thinking in terms of, well, he's getting some of his inheritance now before before I die. that I'm
Yes.
helping him out now, but I don't think I can continue doing it and feel that I'm helping him.
You are
You're right.
not helping him by doing that.
Mhm,
Yes, you are not helping him by doing that.
right,
You are helping him to stay helpless
right.
and not solve his problems.
Okay,
It is not good for him. You have to look at it that way. He is a very grown man,
right.
and
And
he has to be an example to his children,
mhm,
and he has to do right with them. You should be helping to support them,
that's true too. Yeah,
and you should not be paying for his support.
right.
So you have to do as with the previous person, Carol, that you have to do what you have to do.
Mhm,
Which
right.
is make him stand on his own 2 feet, and then he will be successful, and he will have options to deal with his children and that situation with his children.
Mhm, right. Yeah, I wish Texas weren't so far away. It's like another country. It's just so far away,
Yes, it is.
but that's where it's at. So, well, thank you.
You are most welcome. I'm sorry I cannot make your life easier.
Mhm,
You have to do what you need to do, which is to make him stand on his own 2 feet, to not give him any more money. Unless it is a normal birthday check or Christmas check, the same thing that you
Right,
give
right,
to the sisters.
Right.
Nothing more.
Okay,
Because you say he's only getting an advance on his inheritance. Well, he's going to inherit then a lot more than his sisters. Because he has gotten an advance, and when it comes for you being dead, he will look at it and they will say, well, it has to be divided equally between the three, and he will get the same as they got, even though he has already received money, unless you do something about that in your will.
yeah, well, I have been generous with my daughters. I have tried to even it out in ways that,
Okay.
yeah,
But as you said, you have to watch your own supply of money.
right. I realize now that I'm doling out too much. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Okay.
Are there any more questions? It is getting late. It is time for me to say goodnight. So I give you all my blessings. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Ronkar. Thank you.
Good night.
I am back. Wait a minute, where I have to say goodnight to you all. Remember, I love you all. And so I say goodnight to you.
Love you.